My name is Siri Flores. This is for Law and Ethics Hour 2. I'm doing my career research on a civil litigator, which happens to be my dad.
Hello, my name is Roger Flores.
All right. And what are you?
I'm a senior staff attorney,
At?
American Family.
All right. And how long have you been here?
In this office since 2006, but I started with American Family as a law clerk back in 1994.
All right. So let's back it up a little bit. How did you get here? Like, what kind of education
Sure.
took? I see a lot of certificates in the back. What are those?
Sure. Well, after graduating from Whitewater with a business degree, American Family was looking for a legal intern while they were in school, and through businesses I was connected with, they stumbled upon me and hired me as a law clerk before I'd even gone to law school for the first year, and I did that for 3 summers, and then upon graduating in 1994, they offered me a job as an attorney. So I moved from Minnesota, where I went to law school, to Milwaukee, and studied for the bar exam, and passed the bar exam, and I already had an office, so I started trying cases right away. I tried my first jury trial 6 months out of law school, and after 3 years of that, I got promoted to government affairs and relocated to Colorado, where I regulated, or I supervised state legislative bills and regulatory regulations for American Family in multiple states out west. Then they relocated me back here, and I did that a little more lobbying here in the Midwest, and then eventually I left American Family for a year and a half to be in private practice. And then in January of 2006, I returned here to this office, and the certificates you see in the background, I've been a board certified civil trial specialist since 2009, and in order to earn that certification, I had to have tried well over 40 cases, prepared summary judgment motions, at least 25 pages in length, gotten recommendations by 3 judges and also by 3 lawyers that I had tried cases against. I recently received my recertification, which is the certificate down below, and as of about 3 years ago, I stopped personally trying cases and changed roles to a supervisory role. In that role, I supervise outside counsel on lawsuits. I also do a lot of consulting work to our claims department. For example, yesterday I was in Illinois presenting on appraisal clauses in insurance contracts, and also public adjusters and how they interact with our company.
Wow, that is a lot. All right. So I believe you said something about the bar exam. In
Yes.
Wisconsin, is it required to have the bar exam to be admitted into the bar?
It is, if you did not attend Marquette Law School or the University of Wisconsin Law School.
All right. What does it take to be a lawyer? Like, are there any special skills you need to have?
You have to be an excellent writer.
Okay.
You have to have strong reasoning and analytical skills. You have to be a voracious reader. And depending on the type of work you want to go into, for example, I wanted to be a litigator, and that requires going into court and persuading judges and persuading jurors. So it required presentation skills, studying of body language and gestures and all of that goes into presenting a case to a jury.
Now, with being a lawyer, could you use your skills in criminal cases or corporate law?
When I received my law license, I could have gone into any area of practice of law. In law school, students will either kind of focus towards the criminal end of it, or civil end, or transactional work. But yeah, you can. I could easily transfer my skills to a different area of law.
And you said you work in a corporation, an
Correct.
insurance company, but do you work a lot with private firms?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, American Family has a slew of outside counsel defense firms that we use to handle our cases.
All right. So moving on to salary. So would your salary look significantly different if you were working in a private firm?
It depends. It's all very competitive. Our market is saturated with lawyers, which drives salaries down. Um, so I would say that the way it's different is my ability to get significant pay increases based on bringing in business is diminished because I don't bring in clients. So I get smaller raises and that sort of thing.
Okay, and so also with lawyers, there's plaintiff lawyers and defense lawyers. Is there a pay difference between that?
Yes.
Okay.
We are the poor man's lawyer. The plaintiff's lawyers are usually doing very well.
And I believe that there's also a thing called billing. So
Right.
you don't bill your hours.
Well, historically I've not, but in the last 3 years they've asked us to keep track of our time internally on matters that we work on so that they can allocate staff appropriately and workloads.
But you have a salary. You have a yearly salary base.
Correct, regardless
of how many hours. Okay.
Correct.
If you could summarize your job in 20 words, how would you?
I handle car accidents, slip and falls. I defend American Family and their insureds against those claims. And I do that by sending cases out and supervising outside counsel. I also spend a lot of time reviewing insurance contracts and providing legal advice to our claims staff.
Solid. All right. Do you work a lot out of your regular 9 to 5 hours?
I do, but only because my job is extremely flexible. I have a lot of family, external work commitments, and in return for that, I work a lot at home, and I have a virtual office, so I can work from anywhere.
Since you became a senior supervisor, has your workload gotten smaller, like working less? Because I remember before when you were when you focused more on trial, you worked a lot out of your office. So has that time diminished, and do you just spend your time doing different things towards your job?
Right. I'll always say that I can do this job while I'm standing on my head because I don't have to personally handle cases anymore because that is a giant time sucker. But you're right, jettisoning that hat, they've filled my time with more cases and more claim opinions.
You didn't lose any, gain any, you just are pushing your time towards other places.
Exactly.
So are there any benefits to being a lawyer, any drawbacks?
Obviously the prestige of being a lawyer. I've been appointed by the Supreme Court to the District 9 Office of Lawyer Regulation Committee, and I serve on that committee. And that's a feather in the cap. People respect lawyers and doctors. Obviously there's bad apples in every profession, but as a lawyer, I'm a member of a club. My wife is a defense lawyer. She's a member of the same club. In terms of, the potential to earn a lot more money is significant, being a professional. Drawbacks, if you don't like to read or write, that's unfortunate. Interacting with people. There's a high alcoholism rate for lawyers, so that's out there. And other than that, though, I stick with the old saying that if you like what you do, you never work a day of your life, and that's the way I feel.
All right. Well, thank you for allowing me to interview you.
You're very welcome.